it's Ruth here at artfulstampin.co.uk, and I'm coming on live. Just me, my face, no hands. Just gonna just need to lift up. Just need to lift my screen a little bit. Oh no, that's too much. Hold on. Just trying to find the right width of book to help me out here. Hello. Get you a bit further away. There we go, that's a bit better. So I'm coming to you live from my front room. And I'm sorry it's late. We had some friends round, and then we ate, we played games. Well, I didn't play games, I crocheted a bit. And then a friend, we've just been chatting, and he's just gone. And I know it's late, it's past midnight here. I know, this is my front room, Bob. You do recognise this though, I made this with you guys on a video a while back. So there we go. Right, so I have got questions to answer that you guys have asked me. So I thought I'd do that. You didn't miss me, no. I just put a bit of lippy on, Glenna. I thought I would, you know. Because, you know, I didn't want to scare you. So I'm going to have a look at some of the questions you guys have asked me on Artful Stampin' Space. And then if you have got other questions you'd like me to answer, please do go ahead and ask them. I'm just grabbing up on my wee laptop here. Oh no, don't do that. Getting a bit confused what I'm doing here. Yes, I'm just going to get the questions up that I asked. And if you have more questions, then yeah, type them now. Okay, and then I'm just going to see if I can pull up my screen so I can see your chat on here rather than having to keep looking up. So, hi everybody. Hi Mary. Hi Margaret, Glenna, Elizabeth. Great to see you. Right, let's see. Oh, I'm on the wrong YouTube channel. Oh, that doesn't help, does it? So how is everybody? I hope you're having a great day. And sorry, I'm not going to be doing any crafting. So if you're expecting a crafting video, you won't be getting one tonight, but you may learn something. Thank you. I'm so pleased. I picked this up in a charity shop this week and I absolutely love it. It's like, I think it's acrylic, it's plastic, but it's like layers of colour and clear bits. Love it. I've not heard from Reach today. She messaged me yesterday. Someone else may have heard from her, so if they have, let me know. I don't actually, it might have been you, Heidi. She may have contacted you. So maybe it was you I was thinking about who'd had the contact. I haven't been contacted today. So yeah. Right, let's get my channel up so I can have a look. I better turn my sound off before I start playing to myself. There we go. That's better. I can see what you're asking me now. It's a bit easier. Right. I can see what you're saying now. Hi Mary. Hi Linda. Hi Susan. Hi Diane. Hello. You're cold. You're waiting for more rain, snow. Yeah, I heard snow's coming. Yeah, I heard it was coming. Okay, not for us though. No snow here. But there we go. So stay safe, everybody. Stay warm. Stay safe. Oh, where's my questions gone? They were here. Artisan team. So let me just quickly explain what the artisan team is within Stampin' Up. So it's if you're a demonstrator with Stampin' Up, you can every year you can apply to become go onto their artisan team. Actually, can you just let me know, is my sound okay? Just asking. So you can apply to go onto this artisan team. Now, if you are successful, you get, I think it's like about $500 as a thank you. So it's quite nice. You get a bit of extra cash. you also get, I think, about $500 in product, something like that. You do get a lot of product as a thank you, and they also send you product ahead of time for you to work on, ready for blog posts, Instagram, for doing their social media, because what they're doing really is, by gifting you this product, it's so that you're going to create lovely projects and then share them to inspire the customer base, the demonstrator base. So it's a year-long commitment, and I have had a friend who she used to be in our team, which is like a Stampin' Up sister, who did it, and she said, if you're not perhaps at that point, I wasn't really a business, my business was quite small. So she said, and hers was too, and she said it did make an impact on her sales, because she was then not buying, and therefore you weren't reaching certain goals. So it does have an impact on your time and other things like that. So it's quite a thing. Now, that doesn't mean I'll never apply. It would be nice to do it at some point, to just at least try and apply and see. But there's also some other things that I'd like to have in place, like I'd like to sort out my website and my blog as well, because I'm just aware that I'm using a very old system at the moment, and it's something I'd like to sort of update. So anyway, and Stampin' Up might not be looking for my kind of style of stamping. You guys have been very sweet, and if Gina, you're not the first to have suggested it, but sometimes they're looking for something quite particular, and although I enjoy what I do and people do seem to enjoy it, it might not be what they want. Okay, so Esther asked, are you ever unhappy with what you make to the point it ends up in the bin? Occasionally. Usually I will create something. A lot of my creating now actually takes place live. So that was quite of a big shift in the way that I work. So rather than before, I would create something at home and then I would take a photo, blog about it, film a video, and then share it. Since changing the whole model of how my whole system of how I share things with you guys, it's now very much where I create it in front of you and what you see my thought process is. So sometimes I will do a video where I go, yeah, okay, I stamped that, and I'll put it in the box of stamped one sheet wonders, and it might be months before I look at it again. I actually have a box full of one sheet wonders that I've never retouched, and so I don't know, would you say that's a success or not a success? I don't know. There are sometimes times where things end up in my scrap box because it's a technique I tried out, but then they might end up on a scrap card. So they sort of end up in a halfway bin and then they get used later on. So I don't know. But rarely I make something where I just go, oh, just go put it straight in the bin. I mean, I would have had to have dropped an ink pad or something on it, I think, to have really, and so do remember that, particularly those of you who are starting out doing the stamped one sheet wonders styles, because I see some of your comments about your own work on Artful Stampin' Space where you say, oh, I'm not sure if I like it. And I'm so grateful to the Artful Stampin' community now who've got it. A lot of you have got it, that you're designing something to be cut up. So until you've cut it up, you cannot make a good enough judgment. So even if you dropped an ink pad, oh, thank you, Esther. Well, yes, I'd just rip it. I'd use a different bit of it. So yeah, so cutting it up. Also, sometimes you may feel that a design is very busy, or just use a part of it. You don't have to use all of it, just use a small part of it. Oh, Esther asked another question. Could you have ever, I'm just answering these as they come. Could you have imagined that stamped one sheet wonder would be tried out by so many others? What a lovely question. No, I have been so blessed and surprised at how many people's stamping habits have been changed by watching the way I approach it. And it's been my heart's desire. I don't know if I've said this publicly on my lives, but I've said it, I think, in conversations with quite a few people, that when I left university, I remember standing in my flat that I'd rented in my last year, not really sure where my life was going to go. I'd just completed my degree in theatre, film and television, and I remember standing there and thinking, what do I want to do with my life? And I just remember, and some of you know that my faith in the Lord is real, and I take seriously what I think God wants for me. And I remember thinking, whatever I do, I want to enable people to be creative. And I'm really blessed to have been able to do that in the different jobs that I've done over the years, whether it's, you know, paid formal work or if it's been within my self-employment, you know, because this is my self-employment work, business, my own business, that I've had opportunity to do that time and time and time again, and I'm asked to do that. So what has come about through Artful Stampin Space, Artful Stampin YouTube channel, you know, the community that's grown up around this is so much more than I ever imagined it would be. So thank you guys for making it happen. It's a dream come true. That bit is really a dream come true. I know, I saw Linda go, you don't make me cry. I'm already crying, Linda. Okay. How do you work out the placement when using 2 or more stamps for a small wreath using the Stamparatus? So I'm just reading your comments. Thank you, Heidi. Oh, thank you, Claire. Don't make me cry. You guys are going to make me cry. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm not going to read your comments anymore because I'm not going to be able to hold it together. I'm not looking anymore. I'm going to read them back later. 2 or more stamps on a small wreath using the Stamparatus. Oh, yeah. I think I get what you're getting at, Jill. I think it's just a case of just trying it out. Just do it and just try it out, because there is a mathematical answer I could give you. I'd have to figure it out and then give it to you. But I think if you're not mathematically minded, you're just going to have a go and see how it is. Oh, Elizabeth, how much pressure is in this career? How much pressure? Oh, that's a good question. What, you mean my career as a Stampin' Up demonstrator? Is that what you're asking? I think that the pressure would be the same as anybody who is setting up their own business. And I think Stampin' Up make it very clear to us as a direct sales company, we are not allowed to promise that you can earn mega bucks, that your lifestyle is going to be like this if you sign up. You know, there are very strict rules about what we are allowed, you know, for what we're about to say to people. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Karen. So like running any business, there's pressure because if you don't put the work hours in, you will not get the results. And so I've been fortunate that I've not had the pressure to have to earn a certain level of money in those early years, because my husband worked full time and I was pretty much a full-time mum. So I am a full-time mum, you know, I have 4 kids. So I was blessed in that. And also in the UK, we have a system where if your income does go below a certain amount, the government will help you out. So I'm very blessed to live in a country where that is important to the government, or was important to the previous government, and they set it in place. I'm not getting political. So, and also I chose to not have a career. I felt it was more important to be at home for my children. So I made that choice, and because I felt that that was my God-given responsibility. But as the children have got older, I've had more opportunity to put more time and more hours to this business. So particularly over the last 2 and 3 years, you know, as the children have got older and haven't needed me so much, you know, practically, you know, then I've been able to do that. So in answer to the question, is it pressure? Yes, but it's the pressure that anybody would have running their own business, I would say. Lisa asks, sorry, if I've missed any questions, Esther, can you private message me on Facebook, please? Or Linda, anyone who's picking up questions that I'm missing. Oh, you're welcome, Jane. Okay, Lisa says, did I invent the stamped one-sheet wonder? No, I didn't. So just to be clear, the term one-sheet wonder has been around for a very long time and doesn't actually refer to what I do. It refers to taking a piece of designer series paper, either 12 by 12 or 6 by 6 or whatever it is, and cutting it in a certain way to make lots of cards. All right, that's the simple basic definition of the term one sheet wonder. You know, you cut it up and you get 8, 10, whatever cards from it. Now, I then came along and decided I was going to stamp my own one sheet wonders. Okay, because the idea is not just to stamp a beautiful piece of paper, but it's to stamp it and then cut it up. So the word one sheet wonder is used a lot by myself and by the people who follow me, but it is definitely not my invention. It's kind of like an amalgamation of the first term and then my stamping style that's been incorporated into that way of creating cards. So I think I go for design first, you know, beauty first, create something beautiful, then cut it up, and then make your cards, rather than, oh, what card shall I make? Oh, I need a panel that's got purple and pink in it. Oh, I'm going to stamp it. Then I'm going to do my way of working is the opposite way around. Melanie says, but I'm the queen, thank you. How much prep goes into a live and how do you choose the colours? Okay, so with some lives, I would have had an idea come up in the week, or I've seen something on Pinterest, or there'll be something that I'll go, oh, I really want to have a go trying to recreate that look or that style. Sometimes if I'm pushed for time, it's literally I stand in front of my shelf of stamps, and if I'm tired, I'll go, I'm picking my favourites, favourite, go to the colours, pick my favourites, because I haven't got the time and the energy to be trying to configure something with things that I'm not used to. Sometimes it will be a case of, oh, that's a new stamp set, haven't used it, I need to show you guys it. Right, new stamp set, pick some colours, either randomly or sometimes I ask you guys. So there is no set way that I really figure out what I'm going to do. It has helped with the whole masculine Mondays there, because there I think, right, it's got to be something masculine. Wednesdays traditionally became one sheet wonder Wednesday, so I generally will do a stamp sheet, even though I will sometimes do one sheet wonders on other days. And then Fridays more recently has become the, you know, Friday first, you know, how do you do this? How do you start doing such and such? Right, so Annie asks, do you ever make a one-sheet wonder and like it so much you recreate it in different colours? Yes. Yes. So it's the one that Sheila has recreated many, many times. It's the stamping from 3 directions on a sheet. Yeah, and then, I mean, there's others. There's the cross one. Because once you've found a layout that you enjoy, then it's very easy to then go, oh, I'm going to swap it out for that flower, or I'm going to try it in a different colour, or, you know, it's once you have your kind of set pattern, it's easy to then recreate it. Does that answer your question? Okay, so Ali asks, you inspire so many, but who inspires you the most? I wouldn't, oh, that's a really difficult question. It's a who. I mean, I could be really cliche and say God, because he's the creator. Oh my days. There are so many artists and so many creators out there who I enjoy. I'm trying to think of who would I turn to the most when thinking of inspiration. There isn't anybody, I have to say. There is no one artist that I would say I look to the most. Yeah, I mean, if you want to have a little glimpse into what inspires me, probably the best thing to do is follow my Pinterest board. Although, depending what time of year, you might get a whole heap of crochet stuff as well, just saying. But if you have a look at, there's a board that I created called, I think it's called Art to Case. So it's called Art to Case, and then it has various segments within it. That might give you a kind of clue, some clues to what I look to. But artists, oh, there's so many. I love the Pre-Raphaelites. I love like people like William Morris, Charles René Mackintosh. Oh, I mean, for floral stuff, like the Dutch artists with their beautiful still lifes, that kind of thing. There are flower arrangers I look to. I follow flower arrangers, cake makers, all sorts. Okay. Jodie asks, how do you get all your stamps back in the right case without losing any? Good question. So when I do a live, usually I have all the stamps piled up in front of me. And so if I have time that night after the live, I will put them all away, clean them and put them all away. So when I put all the backings onto the red rubber stamps, I usually leave all the trim that the red rubber comes in. So I deliberately do that because I can very easily open the case and see at a glance what is missing. So then I just pop everything back in. It's like the world's easiest jigsaw puzzle, you know, just put it back in. With the photopolymer, you've got your colours there. Sorry, not your colours. You've got that sheet that with all with the designs on. So it's quite easy to then go, oh right, well that's that and that's missing and so and so. So generally, my rule is that a stamp set only goes back on the shelf once it's full, once all the pieces have been found. If not, it just remains on my desk until I find the missing piece. So that's what I do. Esther's saying that a question is coming through. Oh, right, okay. A few more questions. Can anyone in the USA come to my classes? Yes. So anyone in the world can come to my classes. I have people in Australia, America, New Zealand, Europe. Yes. So what happens is I will invoice you £20 GD, Great British Pounds, GBP, and PayPal will do the exchange rate, and then I think sometimes they add a small fee. So for those of you in the US who've recently paid me for a class, how much is that coming out at the moment? Obviously the exchange rate sometimes differs, so it might be different at different times of the year. So currently I think £20 UK, did it work out about $26, I think, US, works out about 40 Australian. Yeah. How can a one-sheet wonder be created with silhouettes, people stamps? Yeah, quite easily. You just do have a look at the sheets that I've done that tend to be more masculine, and there's some that I've put the lighthouse in. Have a look at those. Yeah. So if something is a silhouette, you've got an option there of just creating a really beautiful, colourful background and then stamping your silhouettes over the top. That's the first approach I would take. So some of you have seen me do that background where I think I literally just stamped like blocks of colour, and then I think it was for Easter, I did like a sky, then I did a sort of hill, and then I think I had crosses. But yeah, it's just about repetitive pattern, you know, and just as you can get a repetitive pattern, like silhouettes, I would take the approach like a French toile kind of design. That's the approach I would be taking with something like that, where it's just, you know, patterns, you know. If I ever get any, I'll have a go. Hi, Deborah Mitchum. Lovely to see you. Susan said it's roughly $28. There we go. Thank you. Right, was there any other questions? Do I do Bible journaling? If so, do you use your stamper? I don't actually. I don't do Bible journaling. Esther does. So if you don't follow Stampin' Style Creations with Esther, please follow her. I think, Esther, have you got a playlist with your Bible journaling? What I sometimes do, though, that's slightly more contemplative and meditative, particularly around Easter, I try and do some creations that are more reflective of my faith. So I will choose particular stamps to create meaningful Easter cards. So I find that really enjoyable from a spiritual point of view. But no, I'm not so into the Bible journaling. I do have a Bible, though, that has got quite a bit of space in the margins, and it is designed to, you're meant to get pencil to highlight certain words and things. It's called an inductive Bible. But I've been really bad at using it that way. So, okay, happy birthday, Deborah. Oh, that was the question. Thank you, Susan. Yes, I was coming to that. Water painters versus blender pens, when to use each. Yes, so with the water painters, obviously they carry a lot more liquid than the blender pens. So the blender pens would, I think, are particularly helpful when you're colouring in and either with the watercolour pencils onto normal card, the Stampin' Up card, like Whisper White or Very Vanilla, sorry, Basic White or Very Vanilla, and then you're wanting your blender pen just to blend that colour in. If I was doing something, creating something on watercolour paper or card, actually designed for watercolour, that is when I would be more likely to use my water pens or water painters as opposed to the the blender pen, because usually with watercolour paper you want more of the colour to sort of float around and do more. Having said that, though, try it out. You know, who's to say what you should use with what? You know, as long as you understand how they work, do what you want. So the two main things that the blender pens are used for are to work with the watercolour pencils or to pick up ink, either a drop of re-inker on a block or waterproof surface, or to if you squeeze your ink pads together and open them, you'll have a bit of ink on the lid so you can pick up some colour. So that's the two main things that they are used for. Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, Angela, definitely, with a beautiful U stamp set. I'm trying to think if I've done a one sheet wonder with the there's a stamp set with the guy who's sitting on the beach. I think, yeah, I would suggest have a look at my playlist, my Masculine Monday playlist, and not necessarily be looking for, oh, you know, a figure, but just look for that sort of thing. So I'm not explaining myself very well here. I don't feel like I'm explaining properly. Oh, good question, Deborah. But have a look at the stars. If you've got, could you email me that question? Who asked it? Angela. Could you email me that question, Angela? Because it's a bit hard for me to answer that completely. Oh, mind you, I could have a look on YouTube now, but I'm trying to do too many things at once. Yeah, email me that question and I'll try and find a video where I've used a similar stamp and I'll send it to you. That's a good question too, Lynn. How do I know when to stop? Okay, the word that's coming to my head is balance. When I look at the piece of paper and the things that I want my eye to be drawn to, my eye is being drawn to. Or if I want it to be an overall design, when I look at the piece of paper, I'm not being drawn to certain things. All right, so let me explain that again. Oh, you're welcome, Edith. So sometimes I stamp a one sheet wonder because it's very much going to be a background paper, so therefore nothing should stand out, because I'm then going to be cutting out a focal point, or I'm going to be putting an embellishment or a sentiment or whatever it is on top of it. So I don't need the paper to have standout elements. So that's one type of one sheet wonder that I'll stamp. With that kind of one sheet wonder, you do not want, you know, big blobs of colour in, you know, where your eye's going to get distracted. Then sometimes I stamp to specifically create a focal point on an area on a card. So for example, if we go for the idea of just cutting your piece of paper into four sections, I may decide, well, I want a focal point in the middle of all of those. So if my eye's not being drawn to that focal point, I'm not doing my job properly. I hope that makes sense. He just says, I came across your YouTube doing your own designer paper and it opened a huge world for my stamping experience. Oh, you're very welcome, Edith. Glad to hear it. So Deborah asked me if have I got a favourite stamp set. Yes and no. Stamp sets come and go, but the one that I've held on to, that I will never part with, and possibly two that I'll never part with, is Stippled Blossoms. And it's Stippled Blossoms, isn't it? Yes, it was a two-step stamping one. And Baby Blossoms, which was the first stamp set I bought from a demonstrator in the UK, and she became my upline. And then she stopped, and then I'm now under somebody else. But Baby Blossoms was this gorgeous little flower set that had these little roses and little flowers and things. It's very me. Those of you who know my style. Okay, right. Are there any other questions? don't think there are. I think we've come to the end of it. Right, are there any other questions you guys have asked that I've not noticed? I'm just going to have a look on my laptop now. Oh, very Versailles. Yeah, that is a good one. Yeah, like I said, it's a bit like when people try and ask me what is your favorite, you know, do you have a favorite color? No, I just don't have a favorite color. I do enjoy certain colors for certain situations, like I like wearing certain colors or whatever. I'm more into color schemes. There's certain color schemes that, you know, I might feel happy with, or certain color schemes that make me feel sophisticated or whatever, you know, in their context. So, do you find yourself pulled to certain colors? Yeah. So, for example, I love red. I love pink and green together. I love purple and green together. But then I love, more recently, I love sort of like crushed curry and blackberry bliss together. Love that. Oh, someone's telling Lynn to take my classes. Yeah, okay, so another answer to the question, when do you know when to stop? When you stamp the dottage. That's when you know to stop. Once you've done that and it's all there, that's when you stop. Favorite stamp set of all time? Yeah, I think Stipple Blossom's probably one of my favorites. Very Versailles was the first one shoot one I saw you do. Oh, Sharon, was that the one with Timeless Tulips? How do I think Tom is progressing with his confidence in stamping? He's very confident about perhaps the more technicalities of them, but he is absolutely baffled and can't understand the whole thing to do with colours. Why would you pick that colour, and how do you pick a colour scheme, and why does that work, and he doesn't get it. He just does not really understand colour. He could probably tell me what he likes and what he doesn't like. Like, he doesn't really like dark colours. Like, if I said to him, oh, let's paint our bedroom dark purple, he'd be like, no. And he doesn't really have an opinion apart from something he really doesn't like. Before the tulips. Ah, okay. Dottage is always the finishing touch. Yes, dottage is the grand finale. Yeah, I probably need to explain to him the colour wheel. Yeah, I need to explain colour theory to him. Yeah. Do I have any regrets when buying stamps? Yes, occasionally. Yeah. But so sometimes I'll buy a stamp set because I think I want to push myself out of my comfort zone, and I think my customers would like this, so I buy it, and then I go, oh, I've hardly used it. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's wasted. So there are some stamp sets that are very occasion specific. So off the top of my head, I'm thinking of the one called, is it called Wildly Adorable? It's got those 3 babies in jumpsuits or little suits, and they're just so adorable and so cute. Now, I don't get to make that many baby cards at the moment, but the cards I did make with them a few months ago, I loved them. And yet, every time I go to my shelf and I see it, I go, oh, I haven't used it in a long while, but how many baby cards am I going to have to, you know, what do you guys want to see me make? So, yeah, so occasionally there are stamp sets that just sort of sit there. Yeah, but that's the nature of the job. You know, sometimes you do. And I think that's the difference between going from a demonstrator who just buys for themselves and just enjoys the products and just makes, which is absolutely fine. You know, I have plenty of people on my team who just buy for themselves, and they buy because they love it, and they buy what they love and they use it. But for myself, because I'm demonstrating to encourage people and show people what the possibilities of the products, I sometimes do have to buy things that I generally wouldn't choose for myself. So, of course, there will be almost like an emotional regret, but really there is no regret because it was a business decision. So, which colour wheel? Any colour wheel. All colour wheels are the same, pretty much, Lorraine, in terms of that they follow the same structure. Now, I did see a colour wheel that somebody used on YouTube. Is it, there's a YouTuber called, is it Carol Slazinski? So, who follows, does anyone here follow her? She showed a colour wheel that was enormous. So not only did she have the whole, you know, yellow, orange, red, you know, purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, but she had the shadings as well. It went like from light to dark. So it had all the pale and the dark colours in there as well. And I was just like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. So it all depends what you want the colour wheel to do, really. I have one that I can twist, so it will show you what happens if you add a bit of black to a colour or a bit of white. And there's probably not lots of colour options, but it just depends what you want, really. You can buy ready-made ones or you can do them yourself. Now, I was thinking the other day that I'm probably due to do another video based on the colour wheel, because it's about 2 years since I did one, and I could do with just doing a very concise video for you, looking at the Stampin' Up colours that we have right now and showing you how they fit into a colour wheel. So that is on my to-do list. How do you use a colour wheel? I don't tend to use it personally. I use it to explain colour to people so that they understand how it works. So I can't really answer that question for you, Mary, I'm afraid. Do you make cards for personal use only, or do you make cards to sell? Okay, so currently I make cards because I need to demonstrate the product, so that you get to see me make things. Then those cards get used often to send to customers and to my team. So every month I send all my customers a card with, usually if they've used the host code, they usually get a voucher as well. Then all my team that have achieved certain levels of sales, so if they reach 300 CSV, which works out about, is $300 or about 275, 280 pounds worth of sales per month, they get a little voucher and a card from me. If they reach higher sales, they get a card and a voucher. If they achieve something for the first time in the month previously, and it could be just like they gave a catalogue to somebody for the first time, they get a card from me. Or if it's their anniversary, they get a card. I'm not very good at doing would you believe it? I'm not very good at remembering my team's birthdays. Who else gets cards? Someone who requests a catalogue gets a card. So there's a certain amount I need to make for them. Then, yes, then friends get cards from me, obviously. And then I do end up with many left over. And so those at the moment get sold for charity. Sometimes prior to COVID, when I used to do craft stores, I would sell cards to, you know, as part of my craft store. But since COVID has happened and I haven't done many craft stores, I've just gone, you know what, I just need to get rid of these, and so they've gone to charity. So, the colour wheel I use, oh, the one on the internet, it's called, oh, I've been asked this so many times. It's called it's called, hold on, I'll Google it. It's called Wheel of Names. Thank you, Esther. It's called wheelofnames.com. And if you want, if you can't be bothered to type it out yourself, I have a Google document Now, I'm surprised I actually haven't put that in the artful stamping space. I can link to that document in artful stamping space. If it's not there already, I'll just have a quick look. And you can just copy and paste that list and you put it in the wheel of names on the right hand side. When you go to that website, wheel of names, you put it in there. Just realised I've got plug battery in. And sorry, just realised I've got to find a charger. Oh well, it is what it is. If it goes, it goes. And then you just click a button and it picks it for you. So I'm just trying to think where I'm going to find a charger for this. I'll put it somewhere safe. Bear with. Oh, I think I found it. Oh, technology. There we go. Yep, plugged in. Right. Oh, sorry. I'm back. I found it hard to use. What, the website, Elizabeth? Let me talk you through it then. Just get my Google document up. I'll flip my camera around and I'll show you. Yes, I do, Annie. Yeah. The ones I like. Yeah. Oh, I do get cranky. Yeah, I get cranky. Okay, so wheel of names. So this is the Google document that I have. So let me just so when you have the document in front of you, so there'll be a link on Artful Stampin' Space. You press Control and C. Yeah, so that's copied. You go to the website and there'll be some names in there. You just got to delete all those. You don't want those names because they're just there as an example. And then you press Control and V, and then they'll appear here. Okay, and then all you do is you click on there, and it will pick a colour. There we go. And then you just press remove. Okay. You press remove if you don't want it to come up again. I mean, if you do want it to come up again, you just leave it in there. But if you don't want it to come up again, you press remove. So, I mean, I just saw someone say that, you've got a horrible combination. Well, just do it again. If you don't like it, that's fine. But the whole point of having a challenge is to possibly have a combination that you wouldn't normally pick. So, yeah. Oh, Helen. Yeah, no, Helen does stamp occasionally. She has got some stamps, but she's not as much of a stamper as Esther and I. She's very creative. She sews. She makes clothes way more than I do. She's great at cooking. She draws and paints. What else does she do? But she's very talented. Do I plan to do Stampin' Up when I'm old and cranky? Yeah, I've already said to my husband I don't have a pension yet, so I'm going to be doing this until my hands are so arthritic I cannot move. Because now we have the technology, you know, I mean, technology might go really advanced, more advanced than this, but at least I know how this works. So there we go. Are there any techniques that you haven't tried but would really like to? There are lots of crafts I've not tried that I'd love to. I would love to have a go at, and I do have the stuff for it actually, so I haven't really got an excuse. Silver clay. I've got the materials now to do clay, polymer clay designs. So I do want to have a go doing that. Oh, glass, making glass beads. I'd love to have a go doing that. I do make jewellery already with beads and wire and things. What else would I like to have a go at? I'd like to do a little bit more painting, like big painting, big blousy flowers, and you know, like what's her name, Georgia O'Keeffe style, you know, big. Yeah, I know, glass beads. I spent a weekend years ago making a mould for a doll's head. It was the best fun. Oh, nice, Jane. So I'm presuming because you made the mould, you could then just make whatever you want after that. You're fascinated by glass. What, Lorraine, you've done glass making? I did not know that. Oh, silver clay. Sorry, I thought you said glass. Silver clay. Would you consider doing a class on how to do Facebook and or YouTube lives? Yeah. I'm going to make a heart-shaped rag wreath. Oh, Esther just messaged me. Have I lost connection? I don't think so. No, my internet's there. You've dabbled in polymer clay. Oh, cool. Actually, it'd be cool to have a go with polymer clay to make beads like this. Glass is just like a huge investment, isn't it? Or if you're not going to invest, you need to go somewhere that's got all the equipment. I tell you what, there is a silversmith who I follow on Instagram, and she's very inspired by nature. And her Instagram name is Rip Coil. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna have to look it up because see if I can sign in. Can I sign in my Instagram on here? Anyway, her stuff is beautiful, and she makes silver jewelry that look like leaves, but like she'll make a ring that's like a leaf. At the moment, she's made this beautiful cuff, but she's made it to look like it's got lichen and moss on it. She does something like she oxidizes. Oh, it's just beautiful. I'm always amazed by people who can do that sort of thing. No, my necklace isn't, I don't think it is polymer clay because it's the sound, you can hear the beads knocking together. It's much heavier. I think it's just acrylic. Now, what was funny about this was I was in the charity shop and it wasn't hanging with the necklaces. It was hanging just at the side of a shelf of like household stuff. And I wonder if they thought it was meant to be like a curtain tie. Maybe it is. You see, I've done this before where I've bought something and I think it was meant to be a curtain tie, but I've worn it as a necklace. Esther will know. But I don't know. I just think it is a necklace. I mean, maybe you would use it as a curtain tie, but you know. Sandra Elizabeth York, her silver clay works are amazing. Okay, I'll check her out. Yeah, can you hear it on the table? It's quite clunky. It's actually the wrong sort of. See, I don't like it that length. Well, maybe I do now with this dress on. But I had it on the other day and I was like, oh, I'm not sure about the length of it. I prefer it either shorter or longer. It's a bit of an odd, to me that's an odd length. Like it clashes with my neckline. So that's why I sort of did it a bit further up. So you got to take classes from her. Oh, right, I'll have a look at her. Hold on. Sandra Elizabeth York. Right, I'll just quickly do that and then I'll look at your comments because I just saw Melanie commented. Sandra Elizabeth. Right, I'll have a look at her later, Lorraine. Okay, can you tell me the name of that site? Wheelofnames.com. Is that the one you wanted? On Facebook, I asked people to do something, anything. It is not all about shopping. What I'm not sure what you mean, what you're referencing there, Jane. Yes, I do knit. I knit socks. How do I select your card-based colour? It's usually based on the colours of the card or the stamped one-sheet wonder I've done normally. And sometimes you may see in my videos I might have stamped a sheet, but then I'll put it on different card bases and I'll stick it on different ones because different colours will bring out different emphases of the pattern. So sometimes it's nice to actually have that choice and just do a few. Oh, Heidi did some pottery. Okay. Oh, you did ceramics, Mary? Wow. What's that? It's actually a bunch of hard-boiled sweets. Yes. Well, funny. I deliberately wore it today because I'm a breastfeeding peer support counsellor, and sometimes if I hold the babies want something to play with. So I thought that, you know. Yes, that's a good idea, Barb. Although they are quite heavy. I don't know if I would wear it as an earring, but I'll try it out and see how heavy it is. People seem to have shopping as a pastime these days, and there are such lovely things to learn. Yeah, that's true, Jane. Yeah, I do find that strange. I mean, I go. The only time where I find shopping a pastime is to go to the charity shops because you get such a variety of options there. Who got stamping first? Well, Esther says that she did. Esther stamped before I did. And then I got into stamping because I wanted to stamp sentiments on cards. And then I discovered Stampin' Up online through eBay, actually, because I was looking for stamps to buy. And then I heard that Stampin' Up came to the UK. And yeah, it went from there, really. And I have told Julie this, so that some of you follow Julie Kettlewell from the Paper Haven. Now, she's actually my Stampin' Up sister now, but I used to follow her blog before she was a demonstrator because I used to do a lot of blogging, and then she became a demo, and I still followed her. And then because my upline resigned, I then came under Monica Gale, and Julie is signed up under Monica. So I've looked up to Julie for many, many years. Yeah. Oh, sorry that you've got a headache, Cindy. Yeah, no, I didn't realise the versatility of stamping. No, and yeah, but I suppose until you have a go or you're forced to have a go. I remember when I got my first kit and thought, ooh, you know, I've got to only use what's in the kit. It really was quite a creative eye opener for me, because up to then I was just buying anything and everything, you know. Where I live, about half an hour away from here, is a bigger town, and they had a QVC outlet shop, and they would have a lot of like the Anna Griffin, Tim Holtz, anything that was returns to QVC they put in the shop and sell off cheaper. And so I had loads of craft stuff from there, and it was all hodgepodge, higgledy-piggledy, you know, no rhyme or reason, but not really ink pads. Like some of my first ink pads were probably the Ink It Up ink pads, and possibly like Anna Griffin's brown ink pad. I remember using that an awful lot to do edgings, and the black ink pad and the gold ink pad, black, brown and gold. I think that's what I would use ink pads for. That's what all I thought they were for. And then I discovered, I did discover Rubber Stamp Tapestry, and they make tiny peg stamps that are like tiny versions of what I do. So they do stamped wreaths, they do floral stuff, but on a tiny miniature scale. And so what I do is very similar to Rubber Stamp Tapestry, only it's on big sheets of paper. How long was I stamping before I did Stamp One Sheet Wonders? Not long. If you have a look back on my YouTube channel to some of my very first videos, I was doing it 6 years ago. Yeah. But in the last three years, I'd say it's developed more. And the discipline of stamping every weekday plus more has taught me so much, and has taught me so much in being able to explain the process. It's not just about me knowing how to do it, but being able to explain a process. That I think that is what you guys have responded to in terms of the amount of feedback and followers and the response, the creative response I have from you guys. It's not just people typing and going, oh, thanks for sharing that nice thing. I get personal emails, I get, you know, comments of people, and even tonight, people saying you've opened my eyes up to a new way of stamping. So that means obviously that you guys are actually stamping. You're not just saying, oh, it's nice. So I don't know why I'm saying that. I've forgotten what I was saying now. How long? I answered that one. I make cards for church. Where do you find the best stamps for church? So occasionally Stampin' Up! will come up with good ones, but sometimes you just have to look to other companies for those. So there was a company called Our Daily Bread that used to do them. I think Paper Tray Ink, they still do some. Just Google. Yeah, Google. Yeah. Hi, Vanessa. Yeah, Laurie, I think because I find it easier. I mean, I do love the results of die cut cards, but I find that the amount of time it takes me to do a card with die cutting and so on is a bit longer. So I tend to reserve that for doing more like specialty cards, like an anniversary or a special birthday. So like the 50th birthday I've done recently, or anniversaries or commissions. So I do love doing paper flowers and dies, and I do love doing it, but it just takes a bit of time. So actually, to answer a question that I think Mary asked right earlier on, where she asked, you know, how do I prepare for a live? Sometimes I will spend half an hour cutting things out before I do a live. so that I'm not doing that in front of you. Oh, that's fine. You're allowed to do that. Stampin' Butterflies 1962. Yeah. You're just, as a demonstrator, you're not allowed to earn money from promoting other brands. You're allowed to love other brands. You're just not allowed to have a relationship with a company and earn. It goes against the agreement that you made with Stampin' Up. This is where people get a bit stuck. I think sometimes there's a lot of stuff that flies around on the internet about this, and people think that if you're a Stampin' Up demonstrator, it's like you're not allowed to even look or touch at another product, and that's not the case. When I first started watching you, I stamped about 15 one-sheet wonders in a row. I did make cards out of all of them, mailed them out. Excellent, Melanie. Oh, who has a scripture? Yeah, just be careful, Heidi, on Amazon. On Amazon, there's a lot of companies who sell products that are fake, that they've taken the designs from well-known companies and they've made them cheaply, and they're selling them at very low cost prices. So just be aware that when you do purchase, try and make sure you're buying it from a well-known company that are using Amazon as their platform to sell. Does that make sense? Rather than just a generic company, usually shipping from China. Because what happens is that these manufacturers in China pick up on the designs and then they just churn them out. So be aware of that. I don't earn money from Stampin' Up, I spend it. Absolutely. Night, Deborah. Really lovely to have you here, Deborah. All the best. Circa Designs. Oh, I've not heard of them, Jackie. Thank you for that. Yeah, sometimes Stampin' Up don't do everything, and sometimes you just have to go somewhere else. Circa Design. Oh, they're UK based as well. Oh, fabulous. All products. You're not going to take me there? No? Home? Oh. It's not taking me anywhere. Oh, their website's not very bit slow. Oh, really, Laurie? Yeah, so if you do come across that situation, then you can just send the link to Stampin' Up and they'll deal with it. Yeah, no Stampin' Up product should ever be bought on Amazon. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Or Wish or AliExpress or anything like that. Yeah. Stampin' Up stamps are made in America from their manufacturing facility in Kanab. Yeah, and from what I've heard, particularly Shelley, who set up the company, is very committed to keeping that factory there because it provides so many jobs for the people of that town. And apparently I've heard that there's been pressure to perhaps move it, but she won't, because it provides such a huge income for people there. So I think it's actually quite nice to know that the products we love are also providing an income for many people in the factories there. Yes, it is 1:30 here in Wales. A late night because we had some friends round. Yes, the scrap rug for playgrounds. Yes, yeah, I've seen pictures, Mary. Yeah. Divinity stamps. Okay. And I'll look them up as well. Thank you. Okay, right, if there's no more questions, I'm going to go. Thank you for this Q&A. It's very informative. Nice to see the comments and hear it. I'm old but new to stamping and love learning new things. Looking forward to learning more from you. You're very welcome, Lynn. Yes, yeah, occasionally they do little videos. Sarah, the CEO, sometimes releases them, and if you follow her on her Facebook, you can get to see those. They're for everybody to see. Okay, so I'm really sorry if I missed any of your questions. I'll probably do this again at another date. So if you've got more, then just hold on to them. Yeah, for class information, ruthtrice@gmail.com. I did do a blog post last night announcing the class for the 5th of Feb, Saturday 5th of Feb and 15th. So if you haven't seen that, go to artfulstampin.blogspot.com and it's the latest post there. So, right, you're very welcome. And I hope to be back doing some stamping. This was very enjoyable. Oh, thank you, Melanie. I'm not a dealer. I just buy lots of Stampin' Up products. I love them. I know we sometimes talk about us demonstrators as being dealers. In the nicest sense of the word. Oh dear. Right, lots of love. Have a great weekend, everybody. And see you all soon. Take care. Bye.